The main thing between John and I was we disagreed how to get next level. What do I look for? I look for a guy that's very smart, that is aching to win a world championship like I am. Then to introduce Gary Kubiak as our 15th head coach.
But I'm just so proud to be back in the Bronco Nation. I do understand the expectations of this organization. And go out there and chase that next championship.
And a rainy day has turned into a rainy night here in Seattle as the Broncos now just moments away from kicking off the 2015 preseason as they take on the Seattle Seahawks. Hi, everybody. Ron Zappolo, thrilled again to be working with former Broncos safety and future Hall of Famer John Lynch. John, Gary Kubiak, the story tonight, his first game. He's the 15th head coach in Bronco history. What does Gary bring to the Broncos?
Well, they brought back Gary Kubiak, a guy who is part of the Bronco family, and I think being part of that family makes Gary understand the culture here. And the culture is, it's about winning a world championship. That's what Pat Bowlen stands for. It's what John Elway stands for. And it's why John Fox is no longer here. They couldn't get it done. They parted ways, and now it's Gary Kubiak's chance.
And here's what Gary had to say after he was hired.
The family gave me my first opportunity as a player. And really, they gave me my first opportunity as a coach. And I don't know how many years it is. I want to say 20, 21, 22 years that I've been a part of this organization. But there was no doubt when I got off the plane yesterday that I was home.
Gary Kubiak. The other story, of course, is the 39-year-old future Hall of Fame quarterback, Peyton Manning. He won't play tonight, a rarity. You know him so well. What's different about Peyton this year at the age of 39?
Well, I think one thing that's been quite apparent when you see Peyton, he's a little leaner. He's 5 pounds lighter than he has been throughout his career. That's because this offense is going to be called for more movement. The other thing he's going to be is rested. Gary Kubiak has committed to resting Peyton Manning. As a result, we'll see a lot of Brock Osweiler tonight.
Brock Osweiler tonight, he has thrown 30 passes in his NFL career. Does Osweiler this preseason, John, have to prove to the Broncos that he's the guy in the future whenever that is?
Of course he does. I mean, this is a bottom line business, and he has that opportunity tonight. He'll have it through the rest of the preseason, and it's very important. Gary Kubiak said he told him that the other day. This is very important, and Brock, you sense the confidence that comes with those first-team reps he's been getting in camp.
That you do. The defense, of course, is ready for a great year. Wade Phillips, the former Bronco head coach, the coordinator. Of course, Shane Ray gets a chance tonight. Should be a lot of fun. Broncos and the Seahawks coming up in just a few minutes. We're back with the opening kickoff. Back at CenturyLink Field, let's go down to the third member of our broadcast crew tonight, Rod Mackey. Rod?
Ron, thank you, and so much for waiting until the fourth preseason game to sit their starters. The Broncos will do it tonight for their opener. As you mentioned, Peyton Manning will not play tonight. Perhaps a big reason why, the guys he throws to will not be out there either. No DT, no Sanders, or no Owen Daniels. On the defense, DeMarcus Ware, Chris Harris, spectators only. Same story for the two injured linebackers, Marshall and Trevathan will not play, but there is some good news. 4 of the top 5 guys in that Seattle secondary will sit. Guys, back up to you. It's loud down here.
All right, Rod, thanks very much. The Broncos won the toss. They deferred. Brandon McManus puts his foot into the kickoff. We are underway in the rain. It's Tyler Lockett at the goal line. And he doesn't make it to the 15. He is wrapped up by Benny Fowler along with Lorente McCray. So a good start there for the Broncos special teams.
No doubt. And so many of these jobs that are up and open during the preseason are won on special teams. And you see Russell Wilson right here. Got a new contract to go along with all his success. Not the flashiest numbers in the league, but one thing this young man has done throughout his career is win football games.
1st and 10 for Wilson, just outside the 12-yard line. Here's the handoff to Robert Turpin. He's out to about the 15, where Steven Johnson and Sly Williams combine to make the tackle after a gain of 3. John, what are your keys tonight? Of course, the keys to the game brought to you by Phil Long-Ford. What are they?
Well,
John?
we talked about the opportunity that Brock Osweiler has. Peyton Manning's going to be rested throughout camp. He's going to be rested tonight. Brock Osweiler, when the lights come on, can you lead this team? Questions to be answered on the offense and defensive lines. It's critical that they find those. And then a great test. You're going against a team that nearly won the Super Bowl last year. You will be tested.
2nd and 8 from the shotgun. Wilson is hit. The ball is loose. It's down, and I believe Todd Davis is on it for the Broncos. He is. Denver has it, 1st down and goal.
Well, there's not much scheme to this. There's Von Miller, who's been unstoppable in training camp this year. Watch him come off the corner, and that's Von Miller doing what Von Miller does, and that's wreck offenses. He just comes with a little hands to Britt, the offensive tackle, and then turns an edge, as he does better than anybody in this league. Von Miller seems to be on a mission this year, Ron. He showed up every day in training camp with that kind of effort, and sure enough, here it comes.
Didn't take long for Von Miller to make an impact here in 2015. Brock Osweiler bringing them out. 1st and goal from the 10. C.J. Anderson behind him. James Casey, the fullback. Caldwell and Latimer, the running backs. Here's C.J. inside the 10, down to the 7. Michael Bennett tripped him up after a gain of 3. Tonight's starting lineups brought to you by Nationwide Insurance. And the big story all preseason, John, will be the left side of that offensive line. Sambrailo, Garcia, and Paradis. No experience among those 3. You see the veteran skill position players there. 2nd and goal from the 7. Play action. Here comes the rush, and Osweiler is sacked back at the 20. A big loss is Cliff Averill. Takes down Osweiler.
Cliff Averill stays at home. That's the bootleg that's going to be featured. Cliff Averill didn't take the bait. And Cliff Averill, you see him there along with Michael Bennett, Bruce Irvin, Bobby Wagner, KJ Wright. This is a talented Seattle defense. You don't see a lot of those secondary players that are out tonight. Earl Thomas, Richard Sherman.
3rd and goal from the 20. Jordan Norwood in the slot. The handoff to Anderson. He's inside the 10 and down at the 9, where the Broncos presumably will try their first field goal of the preseason.
Back to C.J. Anderson, who's been impressive all camp, and this new staff, Gary Kubiak, Rick Dennison, really like the way he runs, his ability to put that foot in the ground, much like Terrell Davis back in the day, and find the soft spot and hit it downhill. He's done that very well.
Connor Barth is on for the Broncos. It'll be a 28-yard attempt. He was 15 of 16 in the regular season, and he picks up where he left off. The Broncos are on the board, 12:21 to go here in this first quarter in Seattle. Denver capitalizes on a turnover. Broncos out in front after capitalizing on the turnover. Ryan Harris, the starting right tackle, got a unsportsmanlike call after the field goal, so the Broncos will be penalized on the kickoff, but they have grabbed the lead early in this one. Tyler Lockett, number 16, deep to take the kickoff. This time it will be Connor Barth. So they will pretty much, John, back and forth with McManus and Barth on kickoffs. The one thing Gary Kubiak told us last night, Solomon Patton, the young receiver, number 84, he will do most of the punt and kick returns tonight.
Yeah, you know, and much different from last year where they were willing to keep an extra kicker on the roster to specialize in kickoffs. They'd like to go into this season with one kicker doing both of those, saving a roster spot. The same with the returner. They want a guy who can do both kickoff return and punt return. Solomon Patton is going to get the first chance.
Connor Barth, who came along last year after Brandon McManus had a tough time, made 15 of 16, makes one here tonight. But if you listen to the coaches, especially the special teams coach Joe DeCamillis, they're close in training camp, so there's a battle going on. But I think the big story tonight, and I think what Bronco fans are going to lock on, is that left side of the offensive line, a rather inauspicious debut there on the first series. It's a short kick to the 10. This is Lockett across the 30. A big hole. Lockett to midfield. Finally brought down. It was Steven Johnson who made the tackle along with Bradley Roby. And they saved the touchdown. Tonight's first quarter down and distance brought to you by Aero Electronics.
That's what Tyler Lockett was brought in. He was drafted by the Seattle Seahawks and drafted primarily to put some spark in their return game. Pete Carroll, a big believer in the value of an explosive return game, and Tyler Lockett delivers early.
A 47-yard kick return, setting up Seattle great position at the Denver 43. Starters still in for Seattle. Wilson to throw on first down, steps up, beats the rush, dumps it out complete to Chris Matthews. The big young receiver inside the 35. They'll mark it at the 34. It'll be a pickup at 9. Aqib Talib ran him out, but there's a flag on the play.
Holding, number 32, defense.
That calls on Tony Carter, who's in the game.
Well, the hold on Tony Carter, but prior to that, you saw the pressure. Wade Phillips, the new defensive coordinator. That's what he believes in, is bringing pressure. Malik Jackson had Russell Wilson in his grasp, and he escaped, as Russell Wilson has shown the ability to do so often in his career. But there's Wade Phillips, so much experience. I really think the perfect coordinator for this talented defense. Wade knows how to turn guys loose, and he's got some guys, some outside pressure on this defense. Von Miller, Shane Ray, the rookie, DeMarcus Ware, who's not playing tonight. They can heat the quarterback up, and Wade Phillips has done that well throughout his coaching career.
Broncos in one of their packages, Tony Carter and David Bruton in the game. The handoff to Turbin. He gets inside the 35 to about the 34. Darian Stewart making the tackle. Pickup of 4, second down and 6. Tonight's starting lineups are brought to you by Nationwide Insurance. Veteran Seattle offensive line led by the left tackle Russell Okun. The skill position players.
Turbin in for Marshawn Lynch, and sure we'll see Russell Wilson briefly.
Here's Turbin and Todd Davis making a quick hit for a gain of about 1, making it 3rd and 5 from the 33. The Bronco defense, Derek Wolfe, who will miss the first 4 games. Sylvester Williams is at a good camp. Malik Jackson, hurt early, is now back. There's your linebackers, Brandon Marshall, Danny Trevathan out, Shane Ray, the number 1 pick, and a very good secondary. Aqib Talib and TJ Ward talking about maybe it's the best secondary in the NFL. 3rd and 5 from the 33. Wilson's going to run for it. He's got a first down and more. He's inside the 25, run out at the 21. David Bruton ran him out, but it's a first down for Seattle.
Well, Ron, one thing when you heat up a guy like Russell Wilson, you better be on your lane integrity. And watch, you're going to see the upfield rush by Von Miller, but nothing inside. Antonio Smith chasing, but Russell Wilson, when he sees green grass like that, he's going to take off, and lane integrity is something that's so critical. You got to get to the level of the quarterback so that he doesn't have lanes like that.
1st and 10 for Seattle, 10.5 to go in this first quarter. Seattle at the Denver 21. Play action. Wilson with time to the tight end, Jimmy Graham. Von Miller's got him, but Graham is down inside the 10 at the 9. It's 1st and goal for Seattle, and Jimmy Graham with his first catch in a Seattle uniform. What will he bring to the Seahawks?
Well, as if the Seahawks needed a whole lot of help, they go and get arguably the best tight end in football in Jimmy Graham. He's been so productive, but the way they run the football, that's where I see Jimmy Graham on the play action. The bootleg off of it, he's going to be a weapon, and in particular down here in the red zone, a touchdown machine.
1st and goal from the 9. The handoff to Turbin. He bounces outside. TJ Ward, Roby, and Darian Stewart all run him out, but not before he gets to the 3-yard line.
You've seen the last couple of plays, little sloppiness. Watch Bradley Roby. You got to get to that outside leg and put an edge on that defense. He doesn't. Those are things that in camp, when you're not tackling, you say, okay, I got him. the lights come on and no you don't. You better get to where your assignment is. A little sloppy here on this drive for the Broncos defense.
2nd and goal from the 3. It's Turbin again right up the middle, and he is stopped by the middle of that Bronco defense. Derek Wolfe was in there along with Vance Walker. And it's 3rd and goal. You play defense forever. How difficult is it to go through an entire camp and never tackle and then come out and it's live and you have to tackle?
It's difficult, but I think that's today's football. You know, with the roster spots, the limited roster spots that you can carry, you can't afford to get guys hurt. Same thing with the salary cap. And so you're seeing much less physical camps. The Broncos have barely hit at all in training camp.
3rd and goal from the 3. Shane Ray got a quick start up there. We'll see if Seattle is called for illegal procedure.
False start, number 61, offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
It's the center, Lemuel Jean-Pierre, and that'll move it back to the 8-yard line.
Jean-Pierre drawing off Shane Ray, but boy, it's fun, Ron, to look out here. DeMarcus Ware's not playing, but when you look out and see Shane Ray, Von Miller on the sidelines now, but they are going to have a potent edge pass rush. It's that pass rush in the middle that's got to come join those guys, because that edge pressure is going to be something special.
See if Shane Ray can do anything here on 3rd and 8 as he comes on the edge. Wilson hit, and Malik Jackson's got him back at the 15. And Seattle will have to settle for a field goal.
Well, Ron, you just called it, because Malik Jackson gets that sack, but it's Shane Ray who causes that sack. The rookie, he's going to come from up top, and watch him push the left tackle, Okung. It causes Wilson, who almost drops the ball, and Malik Jackson just stumbles into it. But that's a tremendous job by the 1st-round pick, Shane Ray.
Stephen Hauschka, the veteran kicker, on for Seattle. It'll be a 33-yard attempt. And the Seahawks have tied it up. 7.5 to go in the 1st quarter. We are all tied here in Seattle. Back in Seattle, it's 3-3. Each team, the Broncos capitalizing on a turnover. The Seahawks on a excellent kick return. Each team has a field goal. And as we thought, Solomon Patton, number 84, is deep to return the first kick of the night. And Gary made it clear last night he wants to give Solomon Patton a really good long look tonight to see if, as you pointed out, John, they can find a guy that can do both the punts and the kicks.
And right now, prior to this, it's looked like Omar Bolden has been the leader in the clubhouse for that role, but Patton's a guy who has flashed continuously throughout camp. He's getting his chance tonight.
Hauschka puts his foot in it. It is a short kick. Patton doesn't take it. It's James Casey inside the 15. Casey out to the 25. And that's where Denver will take over. We'll take a break. It's 3-3 in Seattle. Time to meet the player, brought to you by CenturyLink. Tonight, the spotlight on Brock Osweiler. And as we say, in 2007, he committed to Gonzaga to play basketball. Never happened. Changed his mind. Went to ASU to play football. Worked out pretty well for him. He was named the Gatorade Player of the Year in football in 2008-2009 with the state of Montana. And now he's backing up Hall of Famer Peyton Manning. And in the huddle right now for the Broncos, you talk about two types. This is the jumbo offense. You're going to have Joe Don Duncan as the fullback in front of C.J. Anderson, James Casey, and Virgil Green also in the game. So it's two tight ends and Joe Don Duncan. 1st and 10 from the 25. Anderson trying to get outside, loses the football. It's down, but I think the Broncos are on top of it. Ty Sambrailo.
Well, nothing kills a run game like penetration, and it's penetration, and something to be concerned about is that C.J. Anderson, watch the way he gets tackled at the end, comes back on his leg there on that ankle. Penetration, you got to cut that off. C.J. Anderson hobbles to the sidelines.
That was Frank Clark, their 2nd-round draft pick, with the tackle. Good tackle as C.J. hobbles off. 2nd and 15 for the Broncos. handoff right up the middle to Darian Stewart. He's across the 30, out to the 32. Check that. That's Monte Ball. Monte Ball with the run. KJ Wright on the tackle.
Monte Ball coming out looking fresh, and I think he needs to. You've noticed he's been awful quiet this camp. No one talking about him, but that's why they play these games, and he's the guy who's done it very effectively before. Going to get his opportunity now with C.J. Anderson out.
Here's Osweiler with time over the middle. It's complete to Virgil Green across the 40 to the 44 for a first down.
Nice protection by that young offensive line, giving Brock plenty of time. You see Garcia, the left guard, one-on-one, gives him plenty of time. Osweiler, good presence in the pocket, waits for Virgil Green to come open. Nice execution.
Stephen Terrell making the tackle for Seattle. 1st and 10 from the 44. Play action, the rush. He dumps it off to Green again. Virgil twisting out to midfield. Deshaun Sheed making the tackle for Seattle after a pickup of 6. It'll be 2nd down and 4.
Ron, that's an encouraging sign. You know, Julius Thomas no longer with the Denver Broncos. He's down in Jacksonville, big free agent contract. Virgil Green primarily has been a run blocking tight end. The last 2 plays, catches, and that's a positive sign because they're going to have to make up for that lost production of Julius Thomas.
Tonight's first quarter down and distance brought to you by Aero Electronics. Are you thinking 5 years out? And there's a flag. It's a false start. Let's go down to the sidelines and Rod Mackey. Rod?
Yeah, they're looking at CJ again here. And in fact, it was kind of interesting. They're looking at CJ's right ankle, and he almost was pushing Greek away. He wanted to watch the game. He doesn't seem concerned a bit. Stood up, walked around. He's now back on the bench, and the trainers have left him, so that's a good sign. Back up to you.
All right, Rod, thanks. 2nd and 9 from the 45. It does not appear to be serious. Osweiler over the middle. It's complete to Jordan Norwood. He is wrapped up right at midfield. Bobby Wagner, number 54, hit him first. And it'll be 3rd down and about 4 for Denver.
And you like the presence of Brock Osweiler right now. You see him pumping to the right, pulling the defense, manipulating the defense. Then a good, accurate football, gets back half the distance, puts him in an advantageous 3rd down situation.
Jordan Norwood had a great camp last year, got hurt, spent the year on injured reserve. Osweiler has time. He's got a first down to Norwood again, down to the Seattle 42-yard line. First down Denver. Marcus Burley filling in for Richard Sherman tonight. Made the tackle.
And again, you talk about pocket presence. This is what it is. You got to stand in there, put your face in the fan, as they say, and that's exactly what Brock Osweiler, that tall 6'8" frame, allows him to see over the traffic. He's throwing the football accurately.
1st and 10 from the Seattle 41. It's Monte Ball. Gets hit first at about the 41 and then wrapped up by Deshaun Sheds after a short gain. I'll tell you, Seattle's secondary, once so feared. Sherman's out with a minor injury. Earl Thomas has been hurt. Cam Chancellor's holding out, and Byron Maxwell's now in Philadelphia. It's different.
Yeah, there's still going to be, though. Richard Sherman will be back, as will Earl Thomas. Cam Chancellor, those contract things usually work their way out. The best secondary in football resides here in Seattle for now.
2nd and 8, and Osweiler hits Virgil Green again inside the 35 to the 33. It'll be 3rd and a couple. Virgil Green becoming Brock Osweiler's best friend.
Well, he's a guy that they, you know, when you talk to the Broncos, when you go to practice, he's always productive in the pass game in practice. It just hasn't translated over to the games because they've had Julius Thomas. Now he's getting a chance without Julius Thomas and Owen Daniels sitting out tonight and taking advantage of it.
It's at the 33 as Osweiler rolling and throws it away. Threw it over the head of Jordan Norwood.
Osweiler looks to his left, comes out. Sometimes throwing that football away is the best play. And Gary Kubiak thought about going for it on 4th down. Instead, sends McManus out for the long field goal.
That was Cassius Marsh, number 91, with the big hit on Osweiler. Brandon McManus will try one from 52 yards. It's on its way. And it's good. 52-yarder for Brandon McManus. How about that? And the Broncos take the lead. Peyton Manning chatting up Brock Osweiler. I'm sure it's a very pleasant conversation.
You know what I love about Peyton Manning? He's not in uniform now. He came out in uniform for warm-ups, even though he wasn't playing. The one guy who's not playing in full uniform, he told us he was going to go get those reps and never going to miss an opportunity to get some work on. This is really foreign for him, not standing over. He's like someone he has no idea what to do right now because he's not been in this position much.
He always plays. And he told us last night, I'll work myself into a lather like I'm always going to play and then just not play. Tyler Lockett, a couple yards deep, takes the kick from Brandon McManus. Down he goes at the 20, and Benny Fowler, number 16, with a nice tackle, and that's a way you can make this ball club if you're a receiver, is play special teams and play it well.
Absolutely. And yesterday when we met with Gary Kubiak, that's a guy he pointed out at the receiver position. Probably the hottest guy in camp the last 8 to 10 days. You go make plays like that on special teams, you're helping yourself out.
We'll take a break. Denver's out in front, 6-3. All you Bronco fans, you have some armchair coaching advice for Peyton Manning or Gary Kubiak? Tell us what you're thinking in our live online chat going on right now. Just head over to 9 News Facebook page at facebook.9news.com/I like9news and join the huddle. We want to hear from you. 1st and 10 for Seattle from the 18. Tavares Jackson, the veteran, the new quarterback, in for Seattle. He'll throw it on 1st down. Steps up, and it's incomplete. Todd Davis on the coverage there of Luke Wilson, the backup tight end. 2nd and 10, 48, Shaquille Barrett in the game for Denver for the first time.
You see Tavares Jackson in there, and I think Pete Carroll likely wasn't going to play Russell Wilson that much anyway, but when he saw the Broncos come out and start to heat Russell Wilson up, he said, Tavares, get in there, hurry up. And Malik Jackson after Tavares Jackson on his first
Jackson,
snap.
a 10-year guy, really has not played that much here in Seattle. Here comes Barrett, and Shaquille Barrett introduces himself to Tavares Jackson, forcing an incomplete pass, but Barrett getting himself noticed.
It's one thing that you can expect from this group, the Denver Bronco defense. They are going to bring the heat. You see Shaquille Barrett just get upfield, elude the right tackle. Tavares Jackson waiting for the screen to develop. Doesn't have time. Nice play by Shaquille Barrett.
Shaquille Barrett went right by Jesse Davis, the right tackle. 3rd and 10 for Seattle from their own 19. Turpin still the running back. Here comes the rush again. Again it's Shaquille Barrett. And again he beat Jesse Davis, but what a series for the young player from CSU.
It's a really competitive linebacker group, and that's how, if you're Shaquille Barrett, you get yourself noticed. You see Shaquille Barrett, that's just a speed rush. He gets low, he dips and rips, turns an edge. Looked a lot like Von Miller. Shaquille Barrett saying, hey, I know we got Von Miller, Shane Ray, and DeMarcus Ware, but I can rush the passer as well.
John Ryan ready to punt, and it's Andre Caldwell back there along with Solomon Patton, and Patton making the fair catch at the Bronco 39-yard line. Shaquille Barrett spending last year on the practice squad, giving notice he'd like a little more. Let's take a look at what we've seen from Brock Osweiler so far.
Well, this is really just a nice defensive play. Cliff Averill staying home, but I like what I've seen from Brock Osweiler. He's made some good decisions to throw it away, but when he's thrown it, he's shown tremendous pocket presence and tremendous accuracy. I think Brock Osweiler is commanding the huddle well, showing that he really has a good handle on this new offense.
Ronnie Hillman in the game for the first time, 1st and 10. Osweiler throws, and Cody Latimer makes a nice catch into Seattle territory down to the 43. The ball was thrown a little bit behind him. but a first down for Denver.
Well, and this shows that there still is some work to be done. He goes for the play action, and no one's there to play action too. Brock Osweiler, this is the first inaccurate ball that he's thrown, but Cody Latimer, who they're so high on, makes a nice catch leaning back for it.
Here's Hillman with it. He's stacked up at about the 40 after a gain of a couple. So we've seen C.J. Anderson, whose return is they're calling questionable because of an ankle injury, Monte Ball, and now Ronnie Hillman. And you get the feeling, talking to Gary Kubiak, that Ronnie Hillman and Monte Ball are in a real battle for the backup spot.
And in fact, he really applauded and lauded Ronnie Hillman for his effort in camp. He said he's done a tremendous job. Very high on Ronnie Hillman is Gary Kubiak.
Final seconds of the first quarter. It's 2nd and 8 from the Seattle 40. Here's Hillman outside with room. Hillman down to the 30. It's a first down for Denver. Dion Bailey making the tackle, number 37, but not before Hillman gets a first down. And that'll end the first quarter. We've played a quarter from Seattle. It's the Broncos 6 and the Seahawks 3. First quarter, any early impressions of the Bronco offense?
You know, I think we're seeing a preview of what we're going to see a whole lot of, in that it's been very balanced. In fact, you know, seven runs and 8 passes, and when they've thrown it, they've been very accurate in doing so. You see the reshuffled offensive line. Not a ton of experience once you get past Luis Vasquez and Ryan Harris on that right side. The left side's holding up well, though. These young Sambraio and Max Garcia have acquitted themselves well.
Osweiler avoids the rush and then throws it away. And we've got a flag down.
Prior to the pass, holding, number 37, defense. 5-yard penalty, first down.
That's on Dion Bailey, the strong safety, giving the Broncos an automatic first down. Total yards in that first quarter, all Denver. Same with rushing yards.
That's what they want to do in this offense. They're going to run the ball consistently. They're going to. The idea is try to get those safeties to get nosy and then hit them up top. And when you throw it accurately.
1st and 10 from the 25. The toss sweep to Hillman. He's inside the 20 down to the 19. Dion Bailey again, along with Marsh on the tackle. Pick up a 7 for Ronnie Hillman, who is running hard here.
I like the way he's running. I really do. Ronnie Hillman has been known more as a change of pace back. C.J. Anderson out, and he's showing that that can be the workhorse as well, running with authority, running with power.
2nd and 3 from the 18. Latimer and Norwood to the left of your screen. Here's the toss to Hillman again. Gets a block from Green. Inside the 15 to the 13. Another first down for Denver. Tyrell Adams, one of the inside linebackers, made the stop, but Ronnie Hillman keeping this drive alive.
We've talked about this young offensive line. Watch Ty Sambraio showing the athleticism that you hear so much about, the ability to get out and pull. Now, he doesn't pancake anyone, but he does enough. And that athleticism to get out in front of Ronnie Hillman, a nice sign, and tells you why they're so high on the young man with big shoes to fill, filling Ryan Clady's, the All-Pro shoes. At
1st and 10 from the 13. Monte Ball into the game. He's across the 10 down to the 8 for a pickup of 5. DeAnthony Smith, the nose tackle, with the stop. 2nd and 5 for Denver.
Monte Ball stretching. The cutback never developed, and so he just takes the yards that he can. You're seeing positive yards on each and every carry.
Hey, we're seeing something right, and you pointed it out. We're seeing a little transition here to more of a smash mouth power running team. Ball inside the 5 to the 3. That'll be close to a first down. Ty McGill making the tackle along with Terrell Adams for Seattle.
You see man on man, and Monte Ball, you get a little space and then hit it downhill. That's what they want in this offense, and all the backs, I think, showing themselves quite well here tonight.
3rd and 1 for Denver. 12.5 minutes to go in this first half. They're out in front 6-3. And Brock Osweiler calls the timeout.
Pete Carroll called the timeout.
I'd make that Pete Carroll calling the timeout.
Pete Carroll looking like a young man sprinting out there, getting the timeout.
We'll take a break. We'll return. Tonight's trivia question brought to you by Longmont United Hospital, changing the caring experience. With tonight's game against the Seahawks, we're asking, what 2 Bronco running backs rushed for over 100 yards in just 1 quarter against the Seahawks? 3rd and 1 from the 4. The handoff to Ball, and I think he did not get there. Ty McGill making the tackle, and it brings up 4th and less than 1. And it appears that Gary Kubiak will kick another field goal.
You see that penetration again. Shelley Smith, 64, the right guard, completely whiffs on McGill, and it kills that run play.
Connor Barthon, it'll be a 23-yard attempt. And it is good. Connor Barth, 2 for 2 tonight. Brandon McManus, 1 for 1. 11:45 to go in the first half here in Seattle. Denver out in front, 9-3. Tyler Lockett has just taken the kickoff the length of the field for a touchdown. But the officials are huddling. There is a flag down at about the 21-yard line of Denver. So let's see.
I'll tell you what that's going to be. The official ran into Pete Carroll on that sidelines. It'll be a sideline infraction on Pete Carroll.
The touchdown counts during the play on sportsmanlike conduct on the Seattle bench for sideline interference. That 15-yard penalty will be enforced on the kickoff.
You had it, John.
Well, Pete Carroll, he got run over.
Pete
right
got
there.
a little excited.
You see him jacked up.
And here it is.
Now, the Denver Broncos are not going to be in a laughing mood after this. Now watch Pete Carroll come into the screen right there. Hands up, touchdown, not so fast. He gets run over by the sideline judge. But not a laughing matter for the Denver Broncos. Special teams so critical.
Here's the new extra point rule. Seattle's got it at the 15. Here's the extra point by Hashka. And it's good. So for the first time tonight, Seattle has the lead.
Seattle wanted some life in their kick return game, and
Tyler Lockett, their 3rd-round pick out of K-State.
He's providing it.
Following his dad's footsteps.
See the side judge right into Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll takes the charge.
I think Pete took the worst of that.
Look at the official staying on his feet with the spin move, throws the flag. But this is something that the Broncos, this will not be taken lightly. You have to be able to cover. You got guys fighting for jobs. Those are 2 long returns for Tyler Lockett.
There's the new extra point rule. It'll be snapped from the 15, or you can go for 2 from the 2. Defense can score on a fumble or an interception, and if there's a penalty, and you're taking an extra point, you can take the penalty and move up a yard and try and go for 2.
And we haven't seen it in this game, but throughout the league, we're seeing a lot of teams take the opportunity to go for it on 2, to go for the 2 points. And I think that's something we're going to see throughout the course of this year. Your chances so much better, and the percentage goes down for the 15-yard line. It's something that the league's been sure that they want to do. I'm more of a traditionalist. Let's just keep it the same. I think they felt like it was becoming too automatic. The percentage was up at 98, 99% of guys making those extra points, and so they're trying to entice some people, I think, to go for 2 points.
Let's go down to the sideline and Rod Mackey. Rod?
Okay, guys, thanks a lot standing here with Emmanuel Sanders. Can you play special teams at all?
Yeah. Well, that was definitely a big play. Hopefully those guys make some adjustments and that'll happen again.
How excited are you for this season? A lot of people have talked about this new system's going to be less work for you, but you don't seem to believe it. Neither does DT. All you guys still think you're going to get the football, even though you're going to run more.
Of course. I mean, when you got 18 at the helm, we're always going to throw the football. Although we're going to try to develop a run game, and because that's what we win championships. So we're going to definitely try to get that started, but hopefully we're still slinging it around.
Speaking of 18, you mentioned the other day that you think Peyton's throwing the ball better now, more zip on it without that glove on.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Training camp, I walked up to him, and I pretty much told him, your arm looks way stronger, and you could tell he's definitely been busting his butt in the offseason. And I'm looking forward to next week versus Houston, so we can show what this offense can really do.
And the final thing, looking forward to things. I know you are looking forward to another season of the Emmanuel Sanders Show, which we also call the Broncos Huddle.
Definitely. It's going to be some fun. We're going to have even more fun than we had last year.
And we had a lot of fun last year. E, thanks. Get healthy, and we'll see you soon.
All right.
Okay, guys, we'll send it back up to you.
Rod, thanks. Broncos will take over after that return by Solomon Patton on their own 27-yard line. 1st and 10. Osweiler, your quarterback. And he'll throw on 1st down. He's got Latimer. Cody's across the 35 to about the 36. It'll be 2nd and short. Deion Bailey making the tackle on Latimer.
Osweiler continues to show the accuracy. He's spreading the football around. You can see him going through the progressions. Gary Kubiak's talked a lot about getting his feet going. He's a guy who has predominantly in college and in the NFL played from the shotgun. Under the center, you got to get those feet going. At 6'8", it's tough sometimes. Brock Osweiler doing it well tonight.
There's the handoff to Monte Ball. He's got a 1st down out to about the 37. Mike Morgan, the outside linebacker, number 57, made the stop, but a 1st down for Denver. Broncos with Ryan Harris, Paradis, Garcia, and Sambrilo. The only change is at right guard, where Luis Vasquez has taken a seat and Shelley Smith, number 64, is in the game. 1st and 10 from their own 39. Osweiler going for Caldwell, incomplete. Ty Smith step for step with Caldwell.
And that's the first ball that I think Brock Osweiler wishes he had back. If he puts this out there a little more, you see Caldwell have to slow down. If that's put out in front, Caldwell had created some separation on the defensive back. Brock Osweiler knows he missed one right there.
Osweiler 7 of 9. 2nd and 10 from the Denver 39. An empty backfield. 4 wides as Osweiler fires and completes it to Nathan Palmer to the Bronco 47. It's a pickup of 8. It'll be 3rd and 2. Ty Smith again making the tackle.
One of the hallmarks of this offense, Ron, we're going to see under the center. You're going to see shotgun. You're going to see pistol. We just saw spread with no backs. You're going to see 2 backs. You're going to see 2 tight ends. They're going to throw the kitchen sink at you, and then they're going to come with the short passes with the run. Then we saw the shot.
3rd and 2. They're in an empty backfield again. Osweiler got a 1st down to Cody Latimer in Seattle territory at the 49.
Cody Latimer is a guy that the Broncos are extremely excited. Really didn't get an opportunity to show his skills last season. I know a lot of people were frustrated about that, including Cody, but he's going to get his chance. And I think when you start talking about Julius Thomas being gone, how are they going to make up for that production? It's going to be by committee, but a big guy in their plans is Cody Latimer becoming that third receiver, and he's showing that he is up to the task tonight.
Play action, Monte Ball back in there. Osweiler a bullet over the middle to Latimer. It's a first down to the Seattle 31. Dion Bailey makes the tackle, but another Denver first down is Cody Latimer.
Well, there's that hard run action from Osweiler, and when you're running the ball effectively, it's going to draw those linebackers. That creates the void, and it looks like he threw it behind, but he threw it behind because Dion Bailey was coming, trying to help Cody Latimer, throwing him away from where the defender was coming. Great execution by the Broncos offense.
Osweiler looking comfortable in this offense on 1st and 10 over the middle. He's got Virgil Green at the Seattle 26. 5-yard pickup. Bailey on the stop. Everybody has watched camp, John, says this offense is made for a guy that has with the kind of ability and the talents that Osweiler has.
Yeah, and I think at first look, a lot of people say, wow, how does he fit in? Much like they did with Peyton. But I think what both of these guys have shown throughout camp, and Brock's certainly showing tonight, is that they're perfect fits for this offense. Brock playing really good football, playing in a good rhythm.
2nd and 5, that one was deflected at the line of scrimmage. He was looking for Nathan Palmer. Mike Morgan got his hand up and knocked it down. Next week we travel to Houston as the Broncos take on the Texans Saturday night at 6. John can't make it. He's got a Fox game. Alfred Williams will join Rod Mackey and myself for the game. Our pregame coverage starts at 5:30 with a special edition of Broncos Tonight. Game coverage at 7 right here on KTVD Channel 20.
Big Al's going home, all right.
Big Al's going home. You got him on curfew. 3rd and 5 from the 26. Brock over the middle, incomplete. He was looking for Caldwell. Andre wanted a flag. There wasn't one. Ty Smith was on the coverage, and the Broncos will try a 4th field goal of the night.
Chris Richard, the new defensive coordinator, brings the pressure on the 3rd down. It gets in Brock Osweiler's face, and Seattle gets off the field on 3rd down.
Brandon McManus, who already has a 52-yarder, will try one here from 44 yards out. And it is good. The Bronco kickers, both of them, look to be in midseason form as Denver grabs the lead back here in Seattle. The answer to tonight's Longmont United Hospital trivia question. The question again, what 2 Bronco runners rushed for over 100 yards in just 1 quarter against the Hawks? The answer, October 11th, 1998. Terrell Davis rushed for 122 in the 4th quarter, aided by a 70-yard run. And Mike Anderson did it on November 26, 2000 with 115 yards in the 4th quarter, including a spectacular 80-yard touchdown run. Gary Kubiak, a history of getting a lot out of various backs. B.J. Daniels is deep for Seattle. We'll see if Denver can do a better job on this kick. Daniels across the 20, across the 30, and finally goes down at the 34-yard line. Curtis Marsh, number 38, tripped him up, or it could have been another big return.
Well, Joe DeCamillis, known as one of the better special teams coaches in football, he's not going to be happy with the kickoff coverage, and he shouldn't be. You see Marsh just get a fingertip. Actually, not even a fingertip. The turf monster got B.J. Daniels there, or he's going to the house again. So that has to be cleaned up, that kickoff coverage of the Denver Broncos.
Tavares Jackson still at quarterback. Broncos with a sprinkling of second-team defensive players. Seattle takes over down 12-10 on their own 36. Jackson hands it off to Kristen Michael. He gets a yard or 2. Kenny Ananiki, Sylvester Williams, both of them, along with Todd Davis and Shaquille Barrett, all there to make the tackle.
Kenny Ananiki is a guy who, throughout camp, continues just to show up and show up and show up. and he's a smaller player, not necessarily the right profile for the 3-4 defense, but when you keep making plays, I learned this in my time in the league, they don't care how big you are. If you can play, you can play, and Kenny Ananicki's showing that he could play.
This is Michael again, breaks one tackle, breaks another, and gets across the 40 to about the 42. Tony Carter was the first one to hit him and bring him down. But it'll be 3rd and long for Seattle. Tyler Lockett, Ricardo Lockett in the game as wide receivers for Seattle, along with Chris Matthews. Kristen Michaels, the running back. It's time for Shane Ray off the edge. Jackson hits Chris Matthews for a first down up to the Seattle 49-yard line.
Well, that's the same Chris Matthews who no one had heard of in the Super Bowl and then emerged as their lead receiver. Nice football by Tavares Jackson on the money, and it had to be because that was really good coverage by
Curtis Marsh. Who's had a good camp. 1st and 10 from the Seattle 49. It's Kristen Michael again. Couple of yards. Bradley Roby, though, had him around the ankles and brought him down after a 2-yard pickup.
Well, you watch Roby, and you got to love a corner that's willing to mix it up a little. They're paid to cover, but they're also paid to go make plays. Bradley Roby showing he's not afraid to stick his face in there, getting in the run game. Bradley Roby, a fine young player, tremendous cornerback depth. Aqib Talib, Chris Harris,
Don't
Bradley
you agree
Roby.
He's going to play a ton, John?
Absolutely.
With as much as they're in the nickel. Kristen Michael loses the football, gets back on it, and it's loose again. And I think Seattle has recovered it. It's Alvin Bailey, number 78, is on it after about a 16-yard loss.
It's Shane Ray, the 1st-round draft pick that they're so high on. Watch him coming off the corner, inside move, and if you go inside, you better get outside. He certainly does and gets his hand on the football. Shane Ray is a guy that all the coaches you talk to, they're so excited, the various players, and what a luxury to have Von Miller, DeMarcus Ware, and oh yeah, you got another outside linebacker.
He's
Shane
becoming
Ray.
a story tonight. You can see why they took him number 1. Wade Phillips told us last night as we have a timeout on the field that, you know, Shane Ray started kind of slow. He had the foot injury, got to camp, but he started to come on, and he might be one of those players, John, that, you know, not a great practice player, but when the game comes, he's there. We'll talk about Shane Ray when we come back. 4:17 to go in the first half as Shane Ray takes attaboy from his teammates. Back in Seattle, Denver clinging to a 12-10 lead. We're talking about Shane Ray. Shane Ray, the top pick in the draft for Denver. But a lot of their picks making their presence felt.
Well, they're going to count on him. I mean, Shane Ray's going to be out there rushing the passer early. Tyson Bryo, that wasn't the plan, but when Ryan Clady went out, he became part of that plan. Hireman gets hurt early. Garcia starting at the left guard. I see these rookies playing a lot for the Denver Broncos.
3rd and 27 for Seattle. A flag down, a bad snap. Jackson had it, lost it, and it looks like Denver, well, we'll wait until they unpile, but it's close.
It looks like Shane Ray has it, but unfortunately Shane Ray jumped off sides. Tavares
Jackson came up with it, and Shane Ray was off sides, but it was an interesting play nonetheless.
Offside, number 56, defense. 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
Shane Ray's feeling it, John. He wants to get that.
Yeah, he got a little taste and he got a little anxious. And you know, that's one thing in the National Football League they will do, the hard count from the shotgun. And
well, Shane Ray had it, and you can see Jackson got it back. 3rd and 22, 4 minutes to go in this first half. Jackson to throw. Over the middle and dropped by McCoy, the tight end. So Seattle will have to punt. Anthony McCoy, their 6th-round pick in 2010, 6-year man from USC, just dropped it. So Seattle will have to punt. All in all, so far it's early. Denver's looked pretty good both on offense and defense. It's the special teams.
Has some work to do.
Although their kicker's 4 for 4.
Yeah. It's that kickoff coverage that's been the problem.
Solomon Patton will return the punt of John Ryan. Patton from the 9. Loses the football. Looks like he got it back. That will not score you any points with the coaching staff.
That's a no-no. Ball security is so important. That's the first step of being a punt returner, is securing that football. He never sees it in. He does do a great job of going and securing it at the end, but Solomon Patton trying to make the most of his opportunity here tonight. Just got a minus right there.
Stay tuned during halftime at tonight's game for the 9 News Halftime Report. A quick look at today's headlines with news and weather from Colorado's news leader, 9 News. The 9 News Halftime Report brought to you by Hyundai.
Hey, Ron, you got to take part and be a bystander. A little conversation between Solomon Patton and Peyton Manning.
On the bus coming in here yesterday, and sitting behind Peyton, and Peyton's on the phone, and Solomon Patton's on headphones, and Peyton's making a few calls, and finally, as we have a man down there for Seattle, Peyton puts the phone down. Solomon Patton takes the headsets off, and Peyton says, "How you doing?" He goes, "Fine." "You ever been to Seattle before?" "No." And you could tell the reverence. It was almost like he was talking to his father. And the other thing we said to Peyton, we talked to him a few minutes later, I said to him, "Solomon Patton looks like he's 15 years old." He said, "Yeah, a lot of these guys do, especially him."
It was priceless. In typical Peyton Manning fashion, he had a whole report on Solomon Patton from that one conversation. Yeah, from Mobile, Alabama. He's got a 3-year-old. He's
knows it all. Chris Matthews, the injured Seahawk, is back up and coming off the field on his own power. The Broncos Health and Wellness Expo, presented by UC Health and Children's Hospital of Colorado, coming to Sports Authority Field September 5th and 6th. Family friendly and free to the public. You can meet and greet Bronco players, cheerleaders, Miles the mascot, 9 News anchors, and reporters. You play games, catch cooking and wellness demos, get tips to help create a healthy lifestyle. For more information, go to denverbroncos.com/health and wellness. 1st and 10 for Denver. The handoff is to Ronnie Hillman. He's got a lot of room. Hillman across the 30, out to the 33. It's a first down for Denver, a pickup of 22 yards for Ronnie Hillman.
Well, a couple of things. Doesn't matter if you're young, if you can play. Look at this left side of the offensive line creating the hole. You've got Sombrayo, Max Garcia going to create the hole, and then Ronnie Hillman. You talk about sticking your foot in the ground and getting downhill. Ronnie Hillman running with power earlier, running with flat-out speed on that ball.
Stephen Terrell finally making the tackle as Hillman gets it again, running hard across the 40 to the 41. Ronnie Hillman, as Frank Clark, the rookie for Seattle, finally makes the stop. Ronnie Hillman running hard and running effectively tonight.
And Gary Kubiak, when we spoke with him yesterday, he's excited about a lot of players. I don't know if he got more excited about one player than the way that Ronnie Hillman was performing at running back. Very, very happy, and you're seeing why it's transferred over to the game.
6 carries, 53 yards for Hillman. Osweiler rolling, throwing deep for Latimer, and it's incomplete. Ty Smith was with him. Latimer got the arm up but could not reel it in.
They tried a little double move off the boot action, get Osweiler outside. But look at Norwood wide open. Sometimes Brock Osweiler has to understand, okay, they have him covered downfield. Let's take the first down right now and continue to move the chains. 2.5 to go in the first half. It's 3rd and 3 just outside their own 40, and Denver takes their first time out of the half. They've got 2 left. Seattle has 1 left. A lot of good performances in this first half. Ronnie Hillman, Osweiler, Shane Ray,
Shaquille Barrett.
Yeah. I think the overwhelming negative from the first half is obviously going to be that kickoff coverage. You can't win football games in the NFL with kickoff coverage like that. But otherwise, a lot of performances. Shaquille Barrett's been on. Von Miller got brief action, but did what he does best, get after quarterbacks. Osweiler, I think, has shown tremendous command. He walked in with the quarterback as a quarterback in the meeting yesterday with a tremendous amount of confidence.
He has a little bit of that swagger, doesn't he?
He does. He talked about how excited he was to show John Elway and the rest of this organization.
He did.
The guy that they drafted, and he feels like he's finally there.
3rd and 3 from the Denver 41. Osweiler in the shotgun. Seattle showing blitz. Here they come. Osweiler steps in, throws, and it's caught by Latimer. But the play blown dead by a flag back at the 35.
Prior to the snap, false start, number 85, offense. 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
So wipe out the catch by Latimer. The call is on Virgil Green. Gary Kubiak not liking that. Every day in camp, for people that aren't as fortunate enough to get there, they do have referees and officials, and they call penalties in camp in an effort not to be penalized in games. 3rd and 8 from the 36. Osweiler's got time over the middle to Jordan Norwood. It's a first down into Seattle territory, all the way down to the Seahawks 49-yard line, where Obum Gwacham, their 6th-round pick, made the tackle.
And this all starts with protection. You want to have that nice cup so Brock Osweiler can step up. Watch Sombrero outside at the left tackle doing his job, the inside. Osweiler's got plenty of opportunity to step up in the pocket. He does just that, delivers a strike.
We are at the 2-minute warning. Denver with the ball on the move, up by 2. Bronco fans, you got some advice for either Peyton Manning, Gary Kubiak, anybody on the Broncos? Tell us what you're thinking in our live online chat going on now. Just head over to the 9 News Facebook page at facebook.9news.com/ILike9News and join the huddle. We want to hear from you. 1st and 10 for the Broncos. Michael Schofield, number 79, in at right tackle for Ryan Harris. Osweiler to throw on 1st down over the middle. He's got Hillman. Hillman inside the 40, down to the 37, where Adams making the tackle. Tyrone Adams, and it's another 1st down for Denver.
I tell you what, Hillman continues to impress. Simple catch, but just the burst upfield.
Osweiler again. And this time he's got Benny Fowler inside the 30 to the 29. Benny Fowler's really had a good camp. Ty Smith and Tristan Wade combined to bring him down. 2nd and 1 from the 29, a minute 20 to go. Here's the handoff to Hillman. There's room up the middle, a 1st down and more. Hillman all the way down to the 13-yard line, and Ronnie Hillman is making an impact in this first half.
Well, this league is all about taking advantage of your opportunity. C.J. Anderson goes down, gets nicked a little bit. Ronnie Hillman gets the call, and boy, has he responded.
1st and 10 from the 17. Osweiler. He's got time, looks in the end zone. Touchdown, Virgil Green.
It's an impressive drive. That's an impressive drive. That's one thing, the hallmark of championship teams. You score before half. The numbers correlate to winning and losing, to winning football games when you do that. Brock Osweiler shows tremendous command. Ronnie Hillman, look at that, just a strike to Virgil Green on the seam. A lot of good things from this Broncos offense in the first half. Protection excellent again.
Connor Barth in for the extra point. Virgil Green, a guy who was overshadowed a lot by Julius Thomas, but Julius Thomas is gone, and Virgil Green, who's a blocking tight end, may flourish, John, in this system. Extra point just does sneak in there. And Denver, with 48 seconds to go, takes a 19-10 lead, and Virgil Green, another guy who has had a very productive first half.
And what we just saw there, Virgil Green was matched up. There's Ronnie Hillman
Play before
on the
the
run.
touchdown.
But what happens, you run the ball that effectively, the safeties start coming up in the box. So now all of a sudden you've got a matchup with a safety up in the box on Virgil Green. And those are when you can take advantage. So Virgil Green, the beneficiary of them having to bring another safety up in the run game to stop Ronnie Hillman. Then you put the pass behind them, and Brock Osweiler perfectly thrown football. Virgil Green, 3-4 catches tonight.
John, I'd say other than the kick return for a touchdown, which is obviously a breakdown, it's hard to imagine that they could have expected any more than what they're getting on both sides of the ball tonight.
Yeah, and I think the most encouraging thing is the protection. The way that offensive line has played, they've been very stellar tonight, particularly that left side. Sembrilo has been excellent. Max Garcia, Paradis, Vasquez early, now is Shelley Smith, and on the right side, Schofield and Ryan Harris. They've played very good football.
Brandon McManus will kick off. B.J. Daniels, number 5, is deep. He takes this one about 5 yards deep in the end zone. He'll run it out. There's a flag down. David Bruton hit him at about the 8-yard line, and Bruton's slow to get up, but he is now up. Now we get the call.
During the return, illegal block in the back, number 2 of the receiving team. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
It's Keenan Lambert, the strong safety, who I believe hit David Bruton.
But that's how you stop these kickoff returns. You put David Bruton in there because that's what he does. He messes things up with his speed, his ability to get downfield. He draws the penalty right there because he had penetrated so deeply.
So Seattle, with 44 seconds to go after the penalty, will start this drive on their 5-yard line. Tavares Jackson, the quarterback. Kristen Michael, the running back. The handoff to Michael, right up the middle, couple of yards, and that is it. Kenny Ananicki, one of the men in there on the tackle. And that could be the last play of the first half. As the clock winds down, Denver has to feel very good about their first half of football in this 2015 preseason. Can't wait to hear what he has to say.
He's going to be encouraged, but I promise you he'll mention that kickoff coverage because that's what coaches do. They want to fix that one issue that's biting them, and that is certainly biting them in this first half.
Well, we're about to hear from Rod and Gary. Rod, take it away.
Thanks, Coach Kubiak. Your initial impressions of your new team. Brock Osweiler, I know that was a question mark. Looked real good.
Well, he played really good. He ran the team well. We'd like to play better in the red zone, but you got to be impressed with the way he handled the group.
Your offensive line initial impressions on those guys.
Yeah, we're coming off the ball. We're playing hard. We made some mistakes, but our effort is excellent.
Your kicker's great with field goals. Special teams work looked a little weak.
Yeah, we've had a few mistakes covering kicks. No excuse. Playing a lot of young guys. They got to do their job, so we got to be better in the second half.
What the preseason's for, right?
All right.
All right. Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it. Guys, we'll send it back out to you.
John, I'd say that's a glowing endorsement there from Gary Kubiak for the most part. Halftime, Denver out in front, 19-10. Virgil Green, 5 for 45 and a touchdown. Latimer, 4 for 49. Jordan Norwood, 3 for 29. So, speaking of Jordan Norwood, he is back to return the second half kickoff. So Solomon Patton, who fumbled the punt, returned all the punts and kicks in the first half. Here's Jordan Norwood, and that kick by Ryan goes out of the end zone. So the Broncos will take over, and Zach Dysert will lead the Broncos onto the field. There's a flag down at the Seattle 45, but Brock Osweiler seemingly done enough, and Zach Dysert.
Offside, number 94, kicking team. Denver's elected a 5-yard penalty and re-kick.
hoping to get better position than the 20.
And I think most importantly, they want to see their guys return the football. You get an opportunity to show off that kickoff return team, they're going to go for it. There's Pete Carroll. He's
shaking hands there.
He's making friends with the officials.
Trying to say he was sorry. He didn't mean to hurt anybody.
Exactly. What a job he's done as a coach here.
Great job. Let me ask you about them. I mean, they've been back-to-back of Super Bowl appearances. One they win, one they lose in excruciating fashion, a play that will go down forever. Do you have a hangover, and how do you get over a play like that?
You hang around Pete Carroll for a little bit. He's got so much positivity to him. He knows exactly what he wants. He's a tremendous leader. But I do believe that his leadership will never be more important than this offseason. The way they lost that game, having it so close, questionable call at the end of the game, it's going to be a tough year for those guys, for these guys to overcome it.
So Jordan Norwood is back. This kick also goes about 6 yards deep, but Norwood will bring it back. He's across the 15, across the 20. Norwood out to the 25, where he is knocked out of bounds by number 17, Kevin Smith. So Zach Dysert will take over at the 17. Zach Dysert, 6'3", 220 pounds. You see all the information. Second-year man, Miami of Ohio. Practice squad guy, getting a chance tonight.
I tell you, through the last couple of preseason, the lights come on, Zach Dysert steps up, and he moves this football team. We'll see if he can do it yet again tonight.
From the 26, the handoff is DeMonte Ball. He will lose a couple. Hit in there quickly by Ty McGill. Loss of a couple. Zach Dysert, good arm. Broncos also drafted a quarterback, Trevor Siemian, who we might see late tonight. And again, Monte Ball has nowhere to go. Frank Clark, the young rookie second-round pick out of Michigan with the stop. Broncos now 3rd and 11 from their 25.
They've substituted a lot on that offensive line.
This they have: Michael Schofield, Shelley Smith, Gino Gradkowski, Ben Garland, and Chris Clark are now your backup offensive linemen, all in the game. Fowler and Palmer the receivers, Ball the running back, Dysert in the shotgun. And that one will probably come back, flag down, delay a game.
Offense, 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
Tell you, change quarterbacks and it's a completely different feel.
Well, it is, and the offensive line. Not, we talked about them so glowingly in the first half. The first couple snaps were not good. Penetration on both runs puts them in a 3rd and long. The crowd gets loud. You get a delay of game. So Zach Dysert.
Isaiah Burse in the game, number 19 in the slot. Dysert sets up the screen, the ball. Monte's across the 25 to the 27, where he's tackled high, well short of the first down. Frank Clark on the tackle. The Broncos will have to punt. Gradkowski and Ben Garland, interesting. They started camp as the starting center and the starting left guard.
Well, you always got to start somewhere, but I think it was made apparent that, hey, those offensive line jobs were up for grabs. And, Gary Kubiak will tell you that both Paradis and Max Garcia earned their way into these starting spots, and you can see why tonight.
Colquitt is on the punt. Tyler Lockett back at his own 26. Lockett from the 32. Makes one man miss. Aaron Brewer, the snapper, finally runs him out at the Seattle 48. But a good return by Lockett, who's had a good night returning tonight.
I think they found themselves a return man.
I think they have. Draft pick who has looked good. We're in the 3rd quarter. Denver out in front, 19-10. Tonight's Bronco Flashback brought to you by Sports Authority. John Elway, career high for passing. Came on December 20th, 1985 at the Kingdome right here. Elway threw for 432. He led the Broncos to one of his many comebacks, 27-24. Broncos with some changes. Darius Kilgo, their 6th-round pick, the nose tackle, number 98, he is in the middle, and the Broncos have a new secondary in there. Lorenzo Doss, their 7th-round pick, 37. Curtis Marsh, 38. Josh Bush, 20. And Ross Madison, 34. They're your secondary as Seattle takes over at midfield. Jackson. Incomplete. He was looking for the tight end, Anthony McCoy, and he dropped it.
Ron, you take care of all those changes. I was having too much fun watching Elway. Boy, was he fun to watch play. Threw the ball with such zip and authority. His mobility, man, it was not fun to play against, but certainly fun to watch.
That it was. It was fun to watch. Saw them all in person, home and away, and it never got old. Never. I bet it was something trying to defend it.
Yeah, good luck.
2nd and 10 from midfield. Jackson sets up the screen, and it's incomplete. There's a flag down. He was looking for Brandon Kodum, the fullback.
Holding, number 73, offense. 10-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
That's on rookie Jesse Davis. Football fans in Denver, a little spoiled with 15 years of John Elway and now 3 to 4 years of Peyton Manning.
You see Jesse Davis with the hold. Shane Ray again with the inside move, causing Jesse Davis to have to hold him or he's going to get his quarterback killed. Shane Ray continually showing up here tonight, showing why the Broncos were so thrilled to have him.
He's going to make it. He's going to power his way onto the field if he keeps this up. Here's the handoff to Kristen Michael. He's across the 40 out to midfield before Ross Madison makes the tackle, but a nice gain from Kristen Michael.
You know what I like going back to Shane Ray? His opportunity, because you have Von Miller and DeMarcus Ware, 2 stars, he doesn't have to start and play every snap. Wade Phillips can basically say, you know what, young man, we're going to put you in to go get the passer. Go rush the passer early on. He can grow into the role and play more throughout the year.
Sure.
I think it's a great way for him to
take the pressure off him,
yeah.
Stick him in pass rush situations. Well, you get him and Ware and Miller going. Look out. Jackson. Over the middle. Incomplete. Was looking for B.J. Daniels. And Jackson took a shot. He's slow to get up. It's 4th and 8, and Jackson tried to get up, and he's going back down. Tavares Jackson, the veteran.
Kenny Ananicki's going to come.
Ananicki got him. Kind of fell into the back of Gilliam, his offensive lineman, Gary Gilliam. Kind of see what happened. Shane Ray pushed Gilliam into the pile, and Jackson is still down. 3rd quarterback is R.J. Archer out of William and Mary. He may get a little time earlier than we thought tonight. Good look at Richard Sherman there, taking it in from the sidelines, like many of the Bronco veterans are doing. Jackson limping off. So on 4th and 8, the Seahawks have Ryan in the game to punt. Jordan Norwood is back at his own 10-yard line. Jordan Taylor is the up man, but Jordan Norwood will return this punt. Fair catch called for and dropped by Norwood. Seattle's got it. And if there is one negative tonight, it's the special teams play. That's the 2nd fumbled punt. This one resulting in a turnover.
A lackluster coverage all night, both on kickoff returns and punts. And then lack of ball security from the punt returners. We saw Patton drop one earlier. He secured it. Jordan Norwood tries to get over to the sideline. should just let that ball go. Instead, he touches it, and the Seahawks come up with it in the red zone.
Tristan Wade made the recovery, and Omar Bolden, who did this job last year by not doing anything tonight, may have moved way up the depth chart. 1st and 10 for the Seahawks at the Bronco 12. R.J. Archer, number 6, is in the game for Seattle. He's going to throw on his first play of the night. It's complete to Cooper Helfet, the 3rd-string tight end. Corey Nelson making the tackle. And Nelson now running off the field. It's a good look at Archer. 6'2", 220. Archer out of William and Mary. 2nd down and 6. The handoff to Michael right up the middle, and he's about to the 5, where Kilgo, along with Zaire Anderson and Chase Vaughn, all make the tackle. Zaire Anderson, 47, had a good camp. Gary Kubiak has talked about him as a young guy that's active. He's small, but he makes plays. He said he reminds him of Zach Thomas.
He's got the right number, I know that.
You guys never forget, do you? 3rd and 4 from the 6. The throw is incomplete. Curtis Marsh was there on the coverage of Kevin Norwood.
You know, Ron, and I think that's one thing that's shown in addition to the pass rush defensively, tight coverage. They've got a bunch of guys in this secondary, from Talib to Chris Harris to Bradley Roby, Tony Carter, Kayvon Webster, Curtis Marsh. These guys can flat out cover. When you mix guys who can play great man-to-man defense with a pass rush, that's a lethal combination. I think this defense has a chance to be special this year.
Stephen Hauschka on for a 24-yard attempt to try to cut into this Denver lead after the turnover. Kick is up, and it is good. So Seattle cuts the lead to 6. Denver out in front, 19-13. Some advice for the Broncos. Tell us what you're thinking in our live online chat right now. Just head over to the 9 News Facebook page at facebook.9news.com/ILike9News and join the huddle. We want to hear from you. Jordan Norwood, after fumbling that punt, is standing about 10 yards deep in his end zone. There he is, alone with his thoughts. Probably not good ones right now.
Secure the football. You have to do it. It's just a fundamental truth about football. For all else, secure that football. It's all about the ball. That's the motto of the Seattle Seahawks, and it served them well. They secure it, and they take it away.
It's been such a good night for Denver. The special teams miscues really stand out.
Yeah, they do.
Norwood from about 5 yards deep will bring it back out, and down he goes at the 17. B.J. Daniels, the receiver, put a hit on him at the 17. 19-13 Denver, 10 minutes to go in this 3rd quarter. Let's go down to the sidelines where Rod Mackey standing by with DeMarcus Ware. Rod?
That's right. Welcome back live to Seattle here with DeMarcus Ware. 19-13, you guys are on top. Touchdown was scored on special teams. You're on the sideline, but the defense looks pretty good.
You know what? I think it was a good first preseason game. There's always room for improvement, but guys are flying around and making plays, and that's what matters.
You played for Wade before. You excited to do it again?
Yeah, I'm really excited. It's like being back at home, learning. You don't have to learn new terminology, and you can just, and the defense is really aggressive, and you have the ability and the guys that are here that can really play.
Even with the base defense tonight, they've really gotten after the quarterback. How excited are you, not just to have yourself and Vaughn, but now you got Shane Ray in the mix as well?
You know, you got 3 good rushers, me, Shane Ray, and Vaughn, but also you got Malik, you got Antonio, you got Wolf. So guys that have the ability to rush and make big plays, you know, doing that, and it's just awesome to know that, you know, guys are interchangeable and they can make big plays in our defense.
Very good. I appreciate it, DeMarcus. I think they could use you on the field right now. All right, guys, we'll set it back up to you.
Rod, thanks. While you were talking to DeMarcus, Ronald Martin Jr., number 42, picked off Zach Dysert, but there's a flag down.
See the high throw from Dysart, and it looks like it is not going to be a catch. He never catches that ball. But you see burst.
You're looking for burst.
There's a big seam.
Pass is incomplete. Second down.
In the NFL, when you throw the football high, tips and overthrows usually become interceptions. That should have been an interception. Dysart gets away with one right there. Something I picked up on that last play. Ronnie Hillman continues to impress. They had a blitzing linebacker coming off the corner. The reason Dysart had all that time, Hillman stepped up in pass protection and took him on, was extremely stout.
Palmer and Burst, the wide receivers. Dominique Jones, the tight end. Dysart to throw again. Incomplete, a flag down. He was looking for Burst. Tristan Wade was on the coverage.
Prior to the pass, holding, number 47, defense. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Eric Pinkins, second-year man from San Diego State, called for the hold. Denver's got an automatic first down at their 22. Now that Dysart's in, it's just a different feel of the game. It has slowed down somewhat.
It has, and you know they got to get back to running the football effectively to set up some of the passing game.
Hillman trying to go behind Joe Don Duncan, but nothing there. He's hit at the line of scrimmage and dropped. Jimmy Staten making the tackle there.
There's been too much leakage with this group in the second half on the offensive line. I think it's really a testament to how well that the first unit played throughout the first half. This group struggling.
Dysart to throw over the middle, complete to Jones out to the 29, where he's wrapped up after a very short gain. Keenan Lambert making the tackle. Third down and 3 from the Denver 29. 8:55 to go in this third quarter. Denver up by 6. Burst, Palmer, and Fowler, the receivers. Dysart throws, and it's incomplete. He was looking for Jones. He was well covered, and the Broncos will have to punt.
Well, when you don't run the football effectively, those defensive ends for the Seattle Seahawks can tee off. They can play off the crowd noise. Dysart throws into coverage, 3 Seahawks around there. This offense just doesn't have the rhythm that they established in that first half.
Britton Colquitt will punt. B.J. Daniels deep for Seattle. He makes the catch at the 32, tries to make something happen, and Zaire Anderson knocks him down for good. The Broncos, before the game, signed another punter. We'll talk about that when we come back. It's been a special teams, not a nightmare, but it's been a challenge tonight for the Broncos.
I'd call it a nightmare.
I was trying to be nice.
No, that special teams meeting tomorrow. I spoke earlier, Joe DeCamillis, one of the best special team coaches in football. He's done it for a long time, but he can't catch the punts for the guys. He can't cover the kicks. This will have to improve. So many positive signs. This was not a positive tonight. Hopefully they can finish off a little better, but that will be a long meeting tomorrow.
The positives were the work of the 2 kickers tonight, yes. Barth and McManus. The negatives, pretty much everything we saw. 2 fumbled punts, a kickoff return for a touchdown, another long kickoff return that nearly ended up another score. R.J. Archer is the quarterback, 1st and 10 from the 30. Handoff out to about the 35-yard line there is Thomas Rawls, a rookie from Central Michigan. The ball carrier. Pick up a 4, it's 2nd and 6. The Broncos signed Spencer Lanning. They claimed him on waivers from Tampa Bay. He'll be in Denver tomorrow. Kicked a couple of years with Cleveland. Out of South Carolina. He will come into camp, and he will be part of what goes on next week. Archer to throw. Going down the sidelines, incomplete. Overthrowing Kevin Smith. Josh Bush was down there on the coverage.
Tavares Jackson goes out, and they're letting the young man Archer air it out. He's shown himself well. He misses an open target there, but they are not holding back with Archer in there at quarterback.
Bush, the safety, and Curtis Marsh running down there to prevent a completion. It's 3rd and 6 from the 35. From the shotgun. Battle of third string quarterbacks as Archer throws for a first down. Lorenzo Doss making the tackle on Kevin Smith. Smith, a one-year guy out of Washington, with a nice completion.
I was talking to Warren Moon, the Hall of Fame quarterback who does the radio broadcast for the Seahawks, and he mentioned this young man. He's University of Washington alumni, staying home here in Seattle, and has impressed every day in training camp. They're very high on Kevin Smith and the depth at the wide receiver position for Seattle.
1st and 10 from their own 47. Is the handoff again to Rawls. Not much there, maybe a yard. Lamine Barrow, Vance Walker, all getting up off that pile along with Corey Nelson. Pickup of 1, 2nd and 9. Archer has time, goes down the sideline, complete again to Kevin Smith. That's inside the Denver 30 and another Seattle first down.
Just a well-thrown football. And a nice job by Kevin Smith bringing that in. He finds the dead spot in the zone, sits down, and a beautifully thrown football. Great body control by Kevin Smith.
20, Josh Bush got over there, but not in time to prevent a completion. 1st and 10 from the Denver 28. Here comes the rush. And there's a flag down as Archer throws it away. Sione Fua, number 69, was putting the heat on Archer.
Illegal formation offense. Number 17 was covering receiver number 85. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
So that one's wiped out. Kevin Smith cost himself a catch there. Rain has pretty much stopped. It was raining to start the game, but it is pretty much stopped here, and we got dry conditions for this second half. Handoff to Rawls, and he's hit by Kenny and Nicky and knocked down at the 32-yard line. Maybe a pickup of 1. Be 2nd and 14. What do you think Wade Phillips is going to bring to the Bronco defense?
Well, you know, I think it's real simple. When you sit down with Wade Phillips, first of all the experience, but he believes, like he said, in cutting his guys loose. He understands he's got a talented group. He's excited about their ability to get after the quarterback. He said, I'm not going to try to complicate it. I'm going to play to my players' talent and coach to my players' talent and let these guys loose.
Players love that, don't they?
They do.
2nd and 14. Archer to the side, incomplete. Doss on the coverage there. He was looking for Kevin Norwood.
I asked him about that mentality, and Wade said, look, John, you know it. Defensive players are naturally aggressive. That's what they are, and so why not coach to that? And he's got some extremely talented players on this defense, from Von Miller to DeMarcus Ware to Shane Ray, Brandon Marshall, Trevathan. I think the D-line is where you're going to have some question marks. Derek Wolfe suspended for the first 4 games. playing a new system. Sylvester Williams looks like he's really grown this year. And I think one thing that this D-line has going for him, Bill Kohler, another guy that Wade brought with him from Houston, one of the better D-line coaches in football. He's going to get the most. These guys will play hard. A guy like Kenny Ananiki, a lot of opportunity, particularly with Derek Wolfe out, to show what he can do in the first 4 games. And that depth's going to be tested.
Jesse Davis, number 73, shaken up for Seattle, so we had a timeout in the field while he was attended to. There's a good look at Kenny Ananiki. 99, Gerald Rivers, also in the game now for Denver. 3rd and 14 from the Denver 32. Archer steps up, dumps it off to Rawls. Lamine Barrow was there quickly on the tackle. It'll bring up 4th and long.
One thing I think that Wade enjoys about this defense is there's so much versatility. You look at guys on this defense, Malik Jackson, he's a guy who play the end in the nickel, who'll move inside, play that defensive tackle. There's just a lot of different variations that Wade is as creative as any coordinator, defensive coordinator in this league. Like I said, all that experience, he can put it all to use, and all that talent that he has, he'll find a way to get the most out of it.
Got a penalty there. We had a call on Denver, which will give the Seahawks an automatic first down. Rawls with a big hole inside the 20 down to the 16. Lorenzo Doss made the tackle with some help from Reggie Walker, but it's another first down. It's a time of the game where you got a lot of 2nd and 3rd stringers in there, and it's a different kind of football game than what we saw in the first half, which really was, for a preseason game, a lot of fun.
Well played, well played, and you're seeing things get a little sloppier here in the second half.
Here's Rawls again, across the 15, down to the 13. Pick up a 4, Darius Kilgo making the tackle.
Kilgo, another draft choice. You see Kilgo, the nose tackles in 3-4 systems, usually behemoth men, and he's a guy who brings some size. 6'3", 320 Kilgo, and he's going to be asked to be stout inside there in the middle behind Sylvester Williams.
2nd and 6 from the 13. Archer, trouble with the snap, but he gets it to Rawls, and Kenny Ananiki wraps him up. It Rawls down to the 9-yard line. It'll be 3rd and short.
Ananiki all over the field, in making the most of his opportunities.
Played well in the preseason last year. Went on, got hurt in Dallas the last game we did down there. They put him on injured reserve. He's back. On 3rd down, 3rd and about 3. Here's Rawls, stutter stepping, and he may not have gotten enough. Kenny Ananiki again. Want to make the team on defense, make a lot of tackles.
He's hungry. He's hungry.
He
wants
is.
it, and his plays reflecting that.
He's a sharp kid too, when you talk to him. Very sharp kid. 4th and 1. The Seahawks will go for it with a little over 2 minutes to go in this 3rd quarter. Rawls, the running back. Play action. Archer rolling. Will he get there? He tries to throw the ball forward. That's a loose ball. And Denver will take over. I think it's Josh Bush, number 20, that came up with it. And Denver will take over.
Really nice play by Gerald Rivers. They put Archer on the edge, and Gerald Rivers does a tremendous job tracking him down and getting that football out before the line to gain. Another great job by the Denver Broncos defense.
And there's Rivers making the play. We'll be back. It's been a good night for the Bronco defense, John.
It has been. You know, from the start, Von Miller, the pass rush has been consistent. Shaquille Barrett got after Russell Wilson a little bit. They've been getting the football out. Shane Ray been all over the field. Gerald Rivers with a nice play. A lot of great effort from this Broncos defense. There's Bill Kohler, the new defensive line coach for the Denver Broncos. And this defense has shown themselves extremely well here.
Juwan Thompson, number 40, is the running back now for Zach Dysert. Thompson on first down has it, and he's out to the 14 where he's hit hard by Keenan Lambert, number 2, after a pickup of about 3 yards. Thompson made the team last year in camp, was really a good special teams player, ran the ball hard, and had a pretty productive rookie campaign.
He earned it. He earned his way onto the team. We watched him in preseason. Was just very, very impressive. Ran hungry, ran angry, and he'll have his opportunity here the rest of the game to show what he can do.
2nd and 6 from the 15. It's Thompson again. Cuts it back, gets maybe a yard, and is handled by the middle of that Seattle defense, bringing up 3rd and 5. 11 straight years the Broncos have had an undrafted free agent make the football team. That's quite a run.
It really is. You know, and I remember, you know, that was a big part of the culture under Mike Shanahan. He didn't care where you came from, where you were drafted. If you could play, you could play.
Crowd gets a little noisy here. The hometown team down by 6, closing seconds of the 3rd quarter. 3rd and 5 for Denver. I'm not sure if that one just slipped out of his hand, if they're going to call that an incomplete pass. I think the arm was going forward. We'll see. Looked like it may have just slipped out as he went to throw it. Calling that a fumble, I don't know.
You know, I think Gary Kubiak's going to get his first challenge here, and that should be an incomplete pass. Dysert does try to hold on to it, but his hand's going forward. I think that's a clear incomplete pass.
That certainly looks like an incomplete pass. Bronco defense is on the field. And they will take a look. And we think it'll be overturned.
That's my call.
I'm with you. I think it will be. Hey, you know what? We got a minute. A couple of NFL stories. The Tom Brady thing. How do you think it's going to come out? And shouldn't both sides want to put this behind them as quickly as possible?
I would think so. You know, the Judge Berman is urging both of them to settle, and they both seem to be digging their heels in. I don't think it's good for football to have, you know, arguably your best player, one of your best players to be certain, certainly one of your most high-profile players in the news every day. And I think it could have been handled a lot better from the start, and we would have never been here in the first place. And it's just a stain on the NFL. And
it is.
A lot of better things to be talking about in my mind.
Yeah, I also think the NFL's upset with what happened to Geno Smith this week. And the young man that hit Geno Smith was signed by Buffalo, and I read the NFL is going to look into that, and he may you know, face a suspension or maybe a fine or something like that.
Yeah, you know, it's an old adage in football. You touch the quarterback, you're going to find yourself looking for a job.
Didn't take long.
But Rex Ryan was right there to pick him up.
Let's see if they get this thing overturned.
After reviewing the play, quarterback's arm was coming forward. The ball comes out. The pass is incomplete.
Oh, we're one for one.
Please reset the game clock to 32 seconds.
That was actually pretty easy.
Hands coming forward, ball comes out. Kubiak's 1 for 1.
What do you think of the extra point rule? The new rule, do you like it?
You know, like I said earlier, I'm a little bit more of a traditionalist, but I think what it had become so automatic.
And we got whistles going off as Colquitt punts to B.J. Daniels. We have a timeout.
Prior to the snap, this is the first charge timeout. Seattle, 30 seconds.
Pete Carroll is so fun to watch now. He sprinted out there on the field.
Pete's in midseason form.
He is. He's got so much enthusiasm. Hard to believe he's one of the older coaches in the NFL.
You know, he's the second oldest coach in the NFL.
Tom Coughlin being the eldest, yeah.
The USA Pro Challenge coming to a mountain near you August 17th through the 23rd. You can watch world-class riders take on the challenges of the Rocky Mountains through 7 grueling stages from Steamboat Springs all the way to the finish line in downtown Denver. Catch daily special reports at 9:55 on Channel 20 and 10:30 on 9 News, and don't miss the dramatic final leg on the 23rd, televised live on 9 News. Colorado's news leader. At least they said that when I was there. I think they still do. There's the punt. The Daniels at his 40. Looks a couple of guys missed, but Shaquille Barrett had him wrapped up at the 42. Shaquille Barrett doing a little bit of everything.
He's had a nice night.
He sure has. A lot of guys have improved their standing tonight. He's one of them. 22 seconds to go in this third quarter. Game's on the line here among the backups for this fourth quarter. Archer, the quarterback. Rawls, the running back. 1st and 10 from the 41. It's Rawls. Not much. Maybe a yard in the middle of that Denver defense. Chase Vaughn from CSU Pueblo made the tackle. And we have reached the end of the third quarter. Can the Broncos hang on and win this exhibition opener? Stay with us. Ron Zappolo and John Lynch back at CenturyLink Field in Seattle. As we look at the rest of the schedule, next Saturday night in Houston against Bill O'Brien and the Hard Knocks Houston Texans. Then home after a week of practice with the 49ers. Colin Kaepernick and the gang, new head coach Jim Tomlin come in. And then Thursday night to finish it off, the Arizona Cardinals. Good schedule, should be fun.
Good schedule. Unusual that they're practicing against the San Francisco 49ers in that week 3. That's typically the normal game prep. But they're going to get some good work against the 49ers. Jim Tomsula, the new coach, taking over for Jim Harbaugh.
Broncos up 6 as we go to the fourth quarter. 2nd and 10. Archer play action, throws towards the sidelines, and it's incomplete. Lorenzo Doss making the play there on Kevin Norwood. Flag is down back at the Seattle 35.
Holding, number 85, offense. 10-yard penalty, still second down.
Anthony McCoy, the tight end, called for holding. Let's go down to the sidelines and ride.
Okay, guys, thanks. Here with Demaryius Thomas. And DT, you called that right away. You could see over these cops, over your teammates. You saw that hold.
Yeah, they gave me a little area. You know, I got to take my team out, man. Exciting year. You know, guys out here playing fast and having fun. So, you know, I got to see what's going on.
Nothing against you being on the sideline, but I'm tired of you being on the sideline. We need to see you back on that football field. You chomping at the bit?
It's the first preseason game. You've been seeing me at practice.
We need you out there. Gary's been giving you a lot of time off. It's time to get you out there.
I'm ready. You know, I'll be back. We're taking it slow. I'm ready. I'm excited about this year. Excited about the new offense. We're gonna be fine.
What's been the bigger adjustment for you coming in? Because you had to learn that whole system fast, plus you had to get back in football shape. What's been tougher for you?
The football shape is the toughest, especially being in Colorado. And, of course, you know, trying to learn and going out playing mentally. You want to play fast, but you can't because every time I line up, I'm thinking. But now, you know, I don't pick it up on it, and I'm playing fast, and now it's it's just getting it right and just keep stunning.
And I know Coobs is also holding you back because he doesn't want you to come back too fast and pull something and injure yourself either.
Yeah, that's what they was telling me. But you know, when I get on the field, it's go time.
What have you thought about the way Peyton's been playing? Emmanuel has talked about how he seems to be throwing better with the glove. Chris Harris is whining because he keeps getting beat because Peyton's throwing so well. How about you? What do you think?
I hear the DB, so we in the right spot. You lucky you got Peyton. I said, yeah, I do got Peyton. But ever since I've been back, I said a stronger arm. He just I don't know how he does it, but you know, he's calm. Offense looking good. He pitting the balls on the spot as usual, but I don't understand how a man like Peyton, old as he is, but nothing against him, but he's still doing it, and I'm happy he's my quarterback.
Glad to have you back. Look forward to seeing you on the field next week.
I look forward to seeing myself on the field. Go Broncos, baby.
All right, DT, thanks. All right, guys, back up to you.
Okay, nothing against Peyton, but he is old.
What's that make us?
Well, I don't know. I don't want to think about it. We'll take a break. We'll be back to Seattle. Broncos Health and Wellness Expo presented by UC Health and Children's Hospital Colorado is coming to the stadium September 5th and 6th. Family friendly and free to the public. You can meet and greet Bronco players, cheerleaders, the mascot, 9 news anchors and reporters. You can play games, cooking and wellness demos, get tips to help create a healthy lifestyle. For more information, go to broncos.com/health and wellness. Trevor Siemian, number 3, is now in the game at quarterback. The rookie 7th round pick out of Northwestern. John, the Broncos like him. We'll see how he fares here in this 4th quarter. On first down, play action, Siemian dumps it out to Juwan Thompson. A good gain. Thompson into Seattle territory out at the 46-yard line before he's knocked out by Ronald Martin Jr. A first down for Denver.
Yeah, I like that. He looked downfield. It wasn't there. And he put an accurate football out to Juwan Thompson. You can see him looking up top. It wasn't there. Resets his feet and throws it on the money to Juwan Thompson. Thing that bodes well for Trevor Siemian, reading a story about him, and Gary Kubiak was kind of the guy that discovered him. He's watching film on him. He goes down to Greg Knapp and said, I like the way this guy plays. Didn't play a whole lot at Northwestern, but Gary Kubiak saw something in his arm and his feet that he liked, and here he is.
Juwan Thompson with the ball. Goes for about a yard until Greg Scruggs takes him down. 2nd and 9. So it always helps when the head coach is the guy that finds you and likes you.
He's coming off an ACL injury, injured his ACL last November, so he's not had the complete offseason, has recently cleared in training camp and getting thrown into the fire here tonight.
2nd and 9 from the 44. Siemian to throw. With time, he dumps it over the middle. It's complete to Stewart. Jeremy Stewart down to the Seattle 35. Jesse Williams making the tackle. Stewart into the game for the first time. 4th-year man from Stanford.
Siemian showing tremendous composure in that pocket. You know, on 2 of the last 3 plays, looking downfield, but taking what the defense has given him and understanding that if you dump it off, you can get positive yards.
He only started 14 of the 44 games that he played in Northwestern, but as he dives there trying to get that first down on 3rd and 1, it was Scruggs that knocked him out, and we'll see where they place it.
Nice effort by Siemian. It looks like he's going to be just short of the line to gain. The knees down there.
It's close.
It is very close.
You know, it's the interesting thing about these games, John, this year, unlike the last 4 years, it's a new regime, and some of the things we thought about certain players from the old staff doesn't necessarily mean the new staff feels that way.
You're absolutely right. And so, you know, what that means for everybody is opportunity. You got a fresh set of eyes looking at you, and so you can, whatever your past history has been, Gary Kubiak seeing you for the first time, so go show him what you can do. Guys like Ronnie Hillman, Shaquille Barrett, There's plenty of guys who've taken advantage of that. Kenny Ananiki been all over that last series when Rod was talking to Demarius, made another tremendous play.
Yeah, he did. Caused a fumble. 4th and inches. The Broncos will go for it with 11:59 to go. Up by 6. Stewart is the back behind Joe Don Duncan. Handoff to Stewart. He won't get there. He didn't get there. Frank Clark, the rookie, he made the tackle. And the Seahawks will take over. Looked like, John, that Simeon stumbled getting the snap.
Well, Frank Clark was a little bit of a character risk in the draft. Let me tell you something, he can play. That's why the Seahawks took him.
We'll be back. A lot of guys shining tonight, John, and Kenny Ananiki is one of them.
Well, like I said earlier, he's playing hungry. He's playing like he wants a job, and just all over the place. He's been there in the run game. He's been there rushing the passer, causing the incomplete pass. Looked like a fumble was an incomplete pass, but Kenny Ananiki making the most of his time on the field, all over the field.
Got a good camp last year, got hurt, and now he's back on 1st down. Archer just throws that one away. Good look at Kenny Ananiki.
Ananiki has been urged by Wade Phillips and Bill Kohler, the defensive line coach, to put on some weight. He goes about 260 pounds. Tough to last an entire season, so he's doing his best. But
you know, Marvin Austin came in here last year, really played well, impressed everybody, got a job. He's been behind in camp. Ananiki's coming on. Marvin Austin, who's not playing tonight, maybe one of those guys who's really on the bubble. 2nd and 10. The pass is complete to B.J. Daniels and Lorenzo Doss making the tackle out there. Along with Tevin Brandon, 33.
Doss, the draft choice out of Tulane, does a nice job holding him up, and Brandon comes to finish him off. And you know, that's one thing you've seen consistently out of this defense. They're playing extremely hard. They're running to the football. They're finishing plays. Been very impressed throughout the night with this Broncos defense.
3rd and 9 from the 38. Archer over the middle. It's complete to Kevin Norwood. Torian Nixon making the stop. It'll be a couple yards short, and Seattle sends on the punt team. Good play there by Nixon, one of the 7th-round draft choices.
Was a good play. You know, at this level, they're going to complete passes, but are you there quickly, and do you finish by making the tackle? Torian Nixon did just that, short of the line to gain.
Isaiah Burse, who did a lot of punt returning last year, calls for a fair catch and makes it at the Denver 19-yard line. Judging on tonight's standards, a fair catch, a successful fair catch. Pretty good. 10-12 to go. Denver up by 6. Probably the play of the year in the NFL last year. You want to do the honors?
Well, I'll do you the honors. Give the ball to Marshawn Lynch.
There you go. That's all you got to say. Malcolm Butler.
Yeah.
Right place, right time. Knew it was coming. Beat Lockett to the beat him to the punch.
And Butler made an incredible play. And you see the reaction of Richard Sherman. Heartbreaking way to lose the Super Bowl for the Seattle Seahawks, and their challenge is to overcome that.
Simeon going long down the sideline, and Benny Fowler pulls it in at the Seattle 39. What a grab by Benny Fowler.
And Benny Fowler, we've seen him on special teams. We've seen a couple catches earlier. And look at him go get this ball. First of all, the separation. Beautiful ball by Simeon. He puts it out there. And watch Benny Fowler go and get that football, secures it going to the ground. That's just great effort all over the place for the Denver Broncos.
What a great grab by Fowler, who's really had a good camp. First and 10 from the Seattle 39. Here's Thompson. Off tackle, not much there, running hard, gets a couple. Singleton, the last man up, making the tackle.
Simeon's looked good, Ron.
He
really has.
He really has.
He's taken his shots when they're there, and otherwise been content with checking the football down. He's throwing it accurately.
Here he is to pass. He's got Benny Fowler for a first down at the Seattle 22. Benny Fowler coming up big on this drive. Douglas McNeil III on the stop. Simeon to Fowler for another first down.
And I would say in production meetings, there were a couple guys that Gary Kubiak, other than the usual suspects, the Peyton Mannings, got excited about. One was Ronnie Hillman, one's Benny Fowler, and I'd say he's doing a pretty good job of judging their practices, and they're doing a great job of bringing it to the field. Benny Fowler, he said, his last 8 to 10 days have been as good as anybody in camp, and he's showing up tonight.
He's had a good camp, caught everything the last week, and it's paying off tonight.
First charge timeout, the second half. Denver, 30-second timeout.
Denver takes a timeout. A lot of good stories tonight. Benny Fowler putting himself in that group of impressive young players.
You know, we've talked a lot about it earlier tonight, but sometimes we talk so much about the skill players. But that, I think Gary Kubiak and everybody with the Broncos has to be thrilled, not only the way Brock Osweiler played, but that offensive line, and in particular that left side, Sambrailo, Max Garcia, Paradis. That unit with Vasquez and Ryan Harris rounding it out were excellent tonight. They really controlled the line of scrimmage, both in the run game, in the pass game. And I think that's as positive a sign, because that's been a big question mark. Huge transformation gone on there.
Broncos have a lot to be excited about. Play action to Stewart. Simeon drops it off to Marcel Jensen, and he's hit. Good tackle at the 15. But Marcel Jensen on the field. Ty Zimmerman made the tackle. Jensen trying to make this team second-year man. Practice squad guy from a year ago.
Well, Simeon now, earlier we've seen him from the pocket throw the football well there. They run a little bootleg. He gets pressure in his face, but again, the composure to stand in there and deliver an accurate ball.
He seems a little more comfortable in the offense than Zach Dysert was. Here's the handoff to Stewart, down to the 11. It'll be close to a first down as the clock rolling down now inside of 7.5 minutes. Mike Morgan made the stop. And it is a first down for Denver. But Denver has, you know, all summer talked about wanting to be a better running team, and tonight they're showing you the first steps.
And everywhere Gary Kubiak and Rick Dennison have been, they've run the football well. So it's not a given. You've got to go do it. But he did it last year in Baltimore. He did it in Houston. He did it in San Francisco when they were there. Certainly did it in Denver in his time there.
Here's Stewart again. He'll get maybe a yard, not much more, as the pile stops about there. Eric Pinkins was the first one to make the hit on Stewart. So the Broncos tonight use C.J. Anderson, who injured his ankle early, did not come back. Monte Ball, Ronnie Hillman, who was very impressive. Jawan Thompson, and now Jeremy Stewart. The only running back we have not seen is Capri Bibbs. No gain on that play. 2nd and 10. Here's Stewart again. He's got room. He's inside the 5 to the 4. A pickup of 7.
That's what this zone scheme does to you. You see the movement sideways, and then those cutback lanes become available. You continually move and defensive linemen get cut off, the more you do it. And it's it grinds on you. I know from playing against it as a defensive player, you have to be so disciplined. You have to be on your job, on your technique, and it just wears you out. And they commit to it, and it pays dividends.
3rd and 3 from the 4. Simeon to throw into the end zone. He over the head of Jones, the tight end. Dominique Jones was the intended receiver, but couldn't hook up, and the Broncos will go for a field goal. Could give them a 2-score advantage. Brandon McManus, who's had a 52-yarder tonight, along with a 44-yarder from 22, and it's good. And the Broncos stretch that lead to 22-13. Ron Zapolo and John Lynch back at CenturyLink Field in Seattle. 5:24 left. Broncos 22-13, and you talk about the Broncos wanting to be a little bit more efficient running the football. They have done so tonight, thanks to Ronnie Hillman.
And that's a collective effort. Thanks to the offensive line. It's everybody's involved. And that's one thing you going back to when Kubiak was coaching the Broncos when I was there. Everyone plays a part in it. The wide receivers blocking. And everyone's done a nice job in that aspect tonight.
Seattle will take over on their own 20 with 5:24 to go. Good night for Brandon McManus. He's connected on all 3 of his field goal attempts, 54, 52, 44, and 22, and he has boomed his kickoffs, taking a step in the right direction.
No one's ever questioned his leg strength. That's why they went and got him when Matt Prater was suspended, and why he kept his job. He's got a very, very strong leg. Sometimes the accuracy's been an issue, but extremely accurate tonight.
R.J. Archer remains the quarterback. Rod Smith, number 45, is now the running back. And there's the screen to Smith. Gets a block, makes a guy miss, gets out to the 35. Nice run by Rod Smith, a rookie out of Ohio State.
Not the Rod Smith we all know.
Not the Rod Smith that hung out this week at camp and spoke to the press for over an hour with unbelievable passion. I'll tell you something he said, and I want to get your thoughts on it. 1st and 10 for Seattle from the 35. Archer rolls to the right, directs traffic, and runs out of bounds to 35. Rod Smith said he told a couple of players that if you really want to win, put away the cell phones, forget about social media for a while, find out what it is about the guy next to you that makes him tick, learn more about him, and learn to love the guy you play with, and it'll help you in big moments.
He's preaching to the choir. I think so often today with the social media, the cell phones, you see Rod Smith.
Rod Smith still on his feet across the 45 to the 47, where Torian Nixon finally knocks him out of bounds.
But they're on their machine so much they never get a chance to really truly know the guy next to him, and it's so important. And Rod did a great job of explaining, as he always does. In the 4th quarter, that's when it comes that you know the guy, you love the guy, you play for the guy. It's one thing Pete Carroll's done a tremendous job here.
There's the screen to Smith. He's getting a workout in this series, and Corey Nelson runs him out of bounds.
I remember the middle of the year, I was up here with my Fox duties last year doing a Seahawks-Arizona game, and Arizona was ahead in the division. And Pete Carroll gave an impassioned talk to his team. He said, you guys are playing together. You got to start playing for the guy next to you. And it's that same camaraderie, that same love that is necessary to be great in this league, to be a championship team.
2nd and 11 from the 46. Archer gets Smith again right at midfield. Nelson again making the tackle. It'll be 3rd and about 6. Broncos content to let that clock roll. Anytime you beat Seattle, even in the preseason, can't hurt your confidence.
You take that.
Archer again with time, steps up over the middle. It's B.J. Daniels. He's inside the 40, down to the 35. Torian Nixon runs him out, but it's a gain of 14 and a first down for Seattle.
See Archer with plenty of time, good pocket presence, finding his way to former quarterback B.J. Daniels. B.J. Daniels was a quarterback on this roster, now trying to make it as a wide receiver.
Archer over the middle, complete to Smith. Smith to the 26. Finally brought down by Zaire Anderson and Josh Furman. But it's a pickup of 9. It'll be 2nd and 1, 3:45 to go. Here's Smith right up the middle. It's a first down inside the 20. To about the 18. Anderson and Walker on the tackle.
You see a tired defensive group for Wade Phillips. These guys aren't used to these reps, playing them live, and a tired group, and it's showing. They aren't getting much pass rush right now.
Archer in the end zone, incomplete. Kevin Norwood wanted a flag. Torian Nixon was down there.
Another thing in the long list of positive outcomes here tonight, the tight coverage. It's been excellent all night long, and I think it's going to be really a hallmark of this secondary. They're a bunch of guys who can flat out cover you, harass you, and T.J. Ward says they're the best. I don't think they can lay claim to that yet, but we'll see it with another great year. That
one batted down at the line of scrimmage. It may have been Josh Watson right there, number 70. You got a hand on it. Josh Watson, a rookie out of Clemson. He did. Broncos have emptied the bench here in the fourth quarter. Third and 10. 3 minutes to go. It's a screen to Smith, or make that Rawls, and Rawls is in the end zone for a touchdown. Thomas Rawls.
Well, it's the screen pass. You invite the pass rush up the field, then you drop it off, and Zaire Anderson out there one-on-one with blockers in his way. Rawls does the rest. Nice execution, nice play call by Darrell Bevel, the offensive coordinator for the Seattle Seahawks.
Hauschka for the extra point, which is really now a 33-yard field goal. And it's good. So the Seahawks slice that lead to 2.
You watch Zaire Anderson, what he needs to do right now in man-to-man coverage, go get that back, because if you wait, then you've got the offensive lineman out there in front of you. Zaire Anderson will learn in time. Man-to-man, go get your man. Don't wait at all. He who hesitates loses in the NFL.
So what you're saying is always be aggressive from that position.
Absolutely. That's your man. You go get him.
If you're making a mistake, make it aggressively.
Absolutely.
John, if you played today, you'd be paying the NFL. They wouldn't be paying you.
I'd adjust just like all these guys do. They got a guy here, Cam Chancellor. He's not in camp, but I really marvel at his ability. He's 6'3", 230, and he's adjusted to the rules. Doesn't get fined. He did early in his career, but he's adjusted, and he still is an incredibly imposing player, a tone setter on this defense.
Solomon Patton, after taking most of this half off, is back to return the kick if Seattle kicks it. 2:56 to go. Broncos have a lot of people up like they're expecting the onside. And there it is. And Jordan Taylor knocks it out of bounds. Jordan Taylor, a guy we have not seen tonight from the line of scrimmage. Next week we go to Houston. Broncos take on the Texans at 6. Alfred Williams, Rod Mackey, and myself will be there for the second preseason game. Our pregame coverage starts at 5:30, a special edition of Broncos Tonight. Game coverage begins at 7 right here on KTVD Channel 20. Broncos want to kill this final 2:55. Jawan Thompson, the running back. Simeon hands it off. Thompson. Hard run, a pickup of 3.
This is something, look, there's 2 minutes and 45 seconds, but this is called the 4-minute offense. Your ability to run the clock out late in the game is absolutely critical to playing winning football. It's something that Gary Kubiak has prided himself on, and he loves the opportunity to practice this right about now.
Seattle takes their second timeout. They got one left. 2:43 to go. Pete Carroll right in that huddle. Now what is Pete telling him? Hey, strip it, strip it.
Hey, get that ball.
Get that ball.
And you have to hold them short of the first down here. Essentially, they have the 1 timeout. You get another time stoppage at the 2-minute warning. So they've got 2 stops, but the Broncos, what they need to do, you need to get a first down would be the best outcome. The other thing, make them burn all those timeouts so that the offense doesn't have them.
But they've only got a 2-point lead, so Seattle would only need to get in field goal range. 2nd and 7. Here's a Solomon Patton end around. It's not going to work. Eric Pinkins snuffed it out and threw Patton for a big loss. Interesting play call there.
Yeah, and they must have had seen something about them pursuing, but Eric Pinkins, you see him come up the field. That's just tremendous discipline, doing your job. You hear about it all the time, the New England Patriots, do your job. There's an example of what that means. Eric Pinkins doing his job and doing it very, very well.
Seattle has used their last time out, but plenty of time left to get the 2-minute warning. And now instead of 3rd and manageable, it is 3rd and 16. If you're trying to win this game, do you throw it here and run it down to 2 minutes? Do you run it here and let it go to 2 minutes?
I expect either a run or a screen pass here. They're trying to keep that clock going.
Simeon to throw. Here comes the pressure, and down he goes at about the line of scrimmage. And there is a flag down. Frank Clark, who's really been active, made the tackle, but let's see the call.
This could be an automatic first down. Looks like an illegal contact.
Illegal hands to the face, number 19, defense.
Wow.
5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
A giant penalty there on Douglas McNeil III, giving the Broncos an automatic first down. 2:26 to go, and the Seahawks are out of timeouts. All they get is the 2-minute warning. Denver can now keep it on the ground and run it inside a minute.
Now it's just hold on to that ball. Protect that football.
Jawan Thompson up the middle. Ty Zimmerman wraps him up. You know, if there's one rule change I'd like to see, there's probably a few, but just for me, when it's 3rd and 16 and you get an illegal contact away from the ball, which is an automatic first down, and in a real game, the end of the game, I'm not sure that should be an automatic first down.
Yeah, particularly as much emphasis as there are on those illegal contacts.
Illegal contacts there. We've hit the 2-minute warning. It's Denver by 2. Benny Fowler has had some good moments tonight. And speaking of Benny, here's tonight's play of the game, brought to you by Pacifico.
Well, it's Trevor Siemian going back and unleashing it. And Benny Fowler just determined to go get that ball. Tremendous concentration, tremendous speed. Will just to bring that ball in. Benny Fowler has shown very well for himself here in Seattle.
Really has. As have a lot of Broncos tonight. Benny Fowler's one of them. 2nd and 8, 2 minutes to go. Ball in the Seattle 46. Juwan Thompson only has to hold on, and he does. It's a gain of 1. Frank Clark, who has just been terrific tonight. He's a find. Made the tackle.
He's been all over the field.
Yeah, this is not the defense St. Louis will see in a month from now. When if they get Cam Chancellor back, Earl Thomas, Jeremy Lane,
Richard Sherman, Michael Bennett. I mean, all those guys. It's a ferocious defense.
We got a 3rd and 7. They're going to be able to run the clock down inside of a minute. Seattle may get it back with about around 20 to 30 seconds to go. Maybe even a little less than that as the Broncos run it down and call timeout.
Timeout, Denver, 30 seconds.
Brock Osweiler looking like the veteran there, the baseball cap. Peyton Manning looking like the Hall of Famer. Good night for Brock. I mean, he's one of the guys that really took a step forward tonight.
Yeah, he should be proud. He really acquitted himself well, showed tremendous command, and played very well.
3rd and 7 from the 45. It's Thompson up the middle. He will not make it back to the line of scrimmage. That's not important. The clock will run. Seattle will get it back with about somewhere between 20 and 30 seconds left.
Denver will likely just let this clock run, take the delay, and punt it away.
It's fun to, these 2 years in a row now, Denver's opened the preseason against Seattle. It gives you an idea of where you are.
That's right.
Inside of 30 seconds, they'll take it, as you said. So with 28 seconds to go, they'll snap it, and Seattle will have about 20 seconds left. All Denver will have to do now, John, is avoid the big play.
The big return.
Or the big return. B.J. Daniels is back inside his own 10. See if Colquitt can get this one high into the side. He does. Out of bounds it goes. A safe punt. Taking away the chance of a return. A flag is down.
Hey, come on, Jay Stu.
Go 23 seconds left.
Number 6 of the kicking team went out of bounds on his own. That's a 5-yard penalty. It will be enforced from the dead ball spot. First down, Seattle.
That's Corbin Lukes, just signed a couple weeks ago by the Broncos.
There's Brock Osweiler, and he really was sharp, and he was sharp from the very beginning. Very accurate. You saw Gary Kubiak talked about his feet being so important. I thought his feet were tremendous. Active feet, stepped into his throws. He had great time all day, and there's the touchdown pass to Virgil Green. Brock Osweiler played really good football tonight.
Here's Rawls right over the middle. He was looking for B.J. Daniels and Ross Madison. They're on the coverage, 18 seconds left. Crowd wants interference, but no call. It's close.
It's close, but tie goes to the defensive back.
Yeah,
Right?
spoken like a Hall of Fame safety there. Throw to Rawls, and it's incomplete. Nixon was there with Barrett. The tie goes to the defensive man if you're a defensive man. Short hopped it. 12 seconds left. Seattle's got a little something up their sleeve. Now would be a good time for it. Denver doesn't really have anybody more than about 18 yards past the line of scrimmage.
No prevent defense
Nope.
here.
Here's Archer steps up, and Shaquille Barrett hits him and knocks the ball away. Seattle recovers, but that'll be the game. It's 5 seconds to go, but Shaquille Barrett, another big play.
Well, Shaquille Barrett, a lot of people in Colorado have grown familiar to that. From Colorado State to the Denver Broncos, Shaquille Barrett.
Shane Ray and Shaquille Barrett off the edge tonight were both
Von Miller started it early. He was only out there for about 3 or 4 plays. Got a sack fumble. Then came Barrett. Then came Shane Ray.
4th and 10 should be the final play of the game. Here comes Barrett. Here comes Rivers. And it's Kilgo who gets the sack to fittingly end the ball game as the Broncos polish off Seattle tonight, 22-20, and short of some special teams mistakes, this is really an impressive win for the Broncos.
You know, a lot of people will say, well, the starters weren't playing, but still, the Seattle Seahawks team is as deep as any team in football. So when you can come in and play this way, I think really control the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. You got to feel very good about it. Yes, they have some things to clean up, special teams right at the top of the list. But I think a lot to be proud of for Gary Kubiak and this Broncos.
I think so, and a lot of really solid individual performances, starting with Brock Osweiler. But, you know, I think one of the big questions, John, how would Ty Sambrailo, Max Garcia, and Matt Paradis hold up? And at least for one night, the answer is very well. All right, let's go down to Rod Mackey. Rod?
Okay, guys, thanks. Preseason or not, anytime you come into Seattle, beat the Seahawks, got to be a good feeling for you, Coach.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I'm really excited about some things I saw, especially in the first half. I thought we played great defense all night long. A lot of mistakes in the special teams, a lot of things to clean up, but I like the way we played, the effort we played with.
Talk about that defense. Wade Phillips' defense gets after the quarterback, don't they?
Yeah, it really did, you know, and all the groups did it, you know, so that's what's encouraging. But like I said, you know, some good stuff happened. I thought we played physical, but we got a lot of things to improve upon.
Number one thing to improve upon besides special teams?
Well, just a lot of mistakes. You know, I think our second group offensively really struggled up front with a lot of assignment stuff, which, you know, we got to go get fixed. That's us as coaches, but they played hard.
And congrats on win number 1 as the head coach with the Denver Broncos.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
All right, Coops, thanks. All right, guys, we'll send it back out to you.
Thanks, Rod. I think Gary summed it up. I mean, feels good about what happened. We'll take a break. We'll come back. John and I will wrap it up when we come back to Seattle.